So I was procrastinating doing my dissertation, and I'm now going to procrastinate even more by making a video about this because I found this really whack article that popped up to me in a group I'm in. The headline says Catalonia pays €3 million to firms linked to theory Shakespeare was Catalan. And basically there's this organization in Catalonia in Spain who claim that many famous historical figures were actually Catalan, and that Spain and the Castilians have subverted world history to rewrite it and write the Catalans out of history. I thought this was so whack, but actually the implications of this are massive, and so I think we need to take it seriously. So basically, it says here in the article that money was paid to this new history institute, or the Institut Nova Historia, in Catalan, which I don't speak very well, so I'll have a very strong Spanish accent. But essentially, they make documentaries, and they've been making documentaries claiming that the Castilians have been writing them out of history. So it says the programs include claims that Spain covered up the role that Catalans played in the European discovery of the Americas, that Miguel De Cervantes, author of Don Quixote, wrote in Catalan, and his true identity was disguised by the Spanish Inquisition. Now, it goes on, but the one that I thought was interesting, and what I'll name this video, is that in the Cervantes documentary, it claims that he actually was from Alicante, so in Catalonia, and absolutely not where Don Quixote is set in La Mancha with all the windmills, so I don't really see how that would match up. But that Cervantes and Shakespeare are actually the same person. And the author who wrote this, Miguel Izquierdo, he said that seré in Catalan and am, the verb soy, that together they mean I will be and am, so like will am. It's really whack. And according to Izquierdo, from here it's clear that this refers to Sirvent. So Sirvent is the Catalan version of Cervantes, and basically it claims that Shakespeare was involved and then had to flee from Spain and actually only was able to publish these things. I said Shakespeare, I mean Sirvent, the Catalan author, and then was able to publish in England under the pseudonym Shakespeare. This is the real history, and it's been covered up, but this conspiracy goes right to the top, and I'm going to expose it all. So I invite you to join me down the Catalan rabbit hole of how Spain has changed world history and erased the noble deeds and discoveries of the Catalan population. In fact, pretty much everything that Spain ever did was done by Catalans, and I'm going to prove it to you today. Christopher Columbus, known in Spain as Cristobal Colon, of course a famous Italian who hailed from Genoa, sailed across the sea and discovered the Americas. But wait, this story isn't right, because actually he's not called Cristobal Colon at all. This was a Catalan called Juan Colom. He fought in the Catalan Civil War against the evil Spanish king Ferdinand II, and on the defeat of the Crown of Aragon in this conflict, well, I mean, we're going to roll with it. He had to change his name, disguise himself to avoid being captured by the royalists, and that's why he set sail not from the southern port, but from Pals in Catalonia, not from Palos de Frontera in Andalusia, but no, he set sail from this other port much further to the northeast, and adding unnecessary days to the already really long voyage to what he thought was India rather than the established harbours of the southwest, which makes sense. But he set sail from Catalonia, from Pals, and the Spanish then changed the story to fit their own narratives. But before he left, he actually had a son. His name, Erasmus. You might have heard of him. I know he's called Erasmus of Rotterdam, but actually the whole name is wrong. His real name, Ferran. He also was a Catalan, just like his father. And so he definitely did not hail from that other place. I've kind of mentioned it now, though. While we're speaking about Ferrans, he's not the only one. Remember Hernando Cortés? No, Ferran Cortés. The man who conquered the Aztecs, the Aztecs, was also a Catalan. His close colleague, Fransisco Pizarro, I think not. Don't you mean Francesc Pinos de So Icaros, another Catalan, another famous American explorer, Amerigo Vespucci. Actually, he was not Amerigo Vespucci at all, but Amerigo Despuig. They actually changed his surname because they wanted to conceal the fact that he was also a Catalan. And in fact, everyone in the New World before 1518 from Europe was actually a Catalan. And they discovered all of this in the name of the King of Catalonia. This was all subverted by the Spanish crown in later years, but it's finally come to light thanks to the noble research of this new history institute based, completely unbiasedly in Catalonia. Now, remember Leonardo Da Vinci, another famous Italian? Actually, no. I'm here to blow your mind. He's not Italian at all. And while this research institute has not yet provided a real name to this figure who undoubtedly came from Catalonia, I would like to put forward my own theory as to what this man's real name was before the Spanish and the Italians intervened in our understanding of this history. Leonardo is actually interference from the Kingdom of Leon in Spain. Of course, as a proud Catalan, he was from Aragon. So his real name, Aragonardo de Vinci. This is the true name of Leonardo da Vinci. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, there are some more theories, of course. He was born somewhere around Montserrat in Catalonia. And so we see in this painting, we obviously have Isabella of Castile, this picture that he was presumably forced to paint of this evil tyrant who came and conquered Catalonia. But the Mona Lisa, that famous Italian noblewoman, I think not, for they are one and the same. Let that sink in. And do you see those mountains, the very clearly defined and not in any way general to any kind of mountain range in southern Europe from the Balkan to Spain? Those mountains actually are the exact same ones that you find around Montserrat. You can see it from the few brush strokes that are there. This is a painting of Isabella of Castile in Aragonardo de Vinquet's hometown of Montserrat, and this has been covered up by Spain. Finally, the American flag. You know what it was based on. That's right. It's all been covered up, and we have to expose it now. Everything is Catalan. Everything is from Catalonia, and you have to point it all out. Of course, that was me just being sarcastic. These figures clearly are not from Catalonia. We all know at the end of the day that William Shakespeare, that quintessential author of plays and that, smith of new and innovative ways of expressing language and the beautiful poems he wrote, we all know that Shakespeare, at the end of the day...
William Shakespeare.
Undoubtedly black.